Hey, it's Faith Talk Live. I'm Rick Probst.
And I'm Dan Radcliffe.
Boy, howdy. We're excited. If you're watching Facebook Live, YouTube Live, that is Alex Kendrick. Alex, how are you?
I'm doing great. Hope you guys are doing well.
We are, and he's the one and only. If he looks familiar, you've seen him in Facing the Giants, in Fireproof, and Courageous. You name it, he's been in it.
And War Room, which is, I wonder, Alex, how many war rooms were set up after War Room? That's all I ever heard ladies say. I don't know how many men, maybe some, but a lot of women said, I set up my own war room after that movie. I'll bet there's probably thousands, huh?
You know, there was a construction guy in Michigan that sent us a message saying that he was hired several times in 1 month to expand closets into prayer closets, and he didn't know why. And yeah, he soon learned about the movie War Room. It was still in theaters at the time, and that was motivating people to set aside a special place just to spend time with the Lord. And he sent us a message saying, I was baffled. Why am I suddenly being asked to expand closet? So I thought that was a wonderful email he sent.
That is cool. Well, we do want to talk with you about a couple of things. Your first documentary, you and Stephen, and also Courageous Legacy, which was released 10 years ago, and you've updated it. We'll talk about that in a second. But Dan and I had the privilege of being at a premiere Overcomer, and we met an actor, and we continue to have him on the show. He's a friend. Cameron Arnett, he's an amazing guy. And when we watched Overcomer there in the theater with the crowd, we were just taken back how he portrayed a blind person. It was unbelievable. Then he told us how he trained for it. But he's a great guy, and we love him. We love him to pieces. So let's do this. Let's talk about the documentary. Why a documentary now? Why not? Why didn't you have one 10 years ago?
We really prayed about whether to do a documentary, but everybody has a father story. Some of us have good father stories. Our dad was present in our life and a good role model. Many people do not have good father stories. And so we wanted to tell 5 different stories in this documentary that would help draw people to God the Father. He is the only perfect father, no matter what your earthly dad was like. And so we found 5 completely different stories that are amazing. And again, there is every twist, every emotion that you might expect in a feature film in this documentary, and it turned out better than we had hoped. And I can't wait for people to see it on September the 10th.
Now, Alex, obviously, you and Stephen, how did you guys learn from your dad? What was your relationship like, and what did you learn from him?
My father did not have a good father himself. Our grandfather was not present in his life like he should have been. He was an alcoholic. He was often gone for days at the time. And my dad's family didn't know where he was. And the first time he heard even the words, I love you, he was a young man. And so even as a kid, he didn't feel loved, accepted, valued. He wasn't confident. And he grew up with a lot of fear, a sense of inferiority. And so when my father was in his mid-20s and became a Christian, he told the Lord, I don't want these things passing down to my children. So he asked the Lord to help him stay away from those things that would hurt the family. When he had the 3 sons, I'm the middle of the 3 boys. He raised us in the Word. He raised us loving us, supporting us, encouraging us. And there's no perfect father. Right. Except for God. So our dad did the best he could. And when we realized what he overcame to forgive his dad for not being there for him and still trying to be a good dad for us, it gave us even a higher level of respect for him. So we today follow suit. We lead our families spiritually and love our children and affirm them. And we tell them, I love you. I'm proud of you. I'm grateful you're my child. And we give a father's blessing to our children. And so we learned quite a bit from my dad.
How courageous, huh? That turnaround. He gave his life to the Lord, and then he just said, you know what? My kids aren't going to get what I got. I'm going to pass on something good. And look what happened. I mean, look at your kids and how that's gone through you guys. We're talking with Alex Kendrick, and they've got their first documentary. It's called Show Me the Father. And it is coming out in the fall. I think you said September the 10th. Where can they see the documentary?
So you can go to showmethefathermovie.com, and we will start posting theaters the closer we get to mid-August. And you can find theaters in your area. It should be in over 1,000 theaters across the country and in a few other countries. And again, I'm telling you, you may say, well, I don't really like documentaries, but this movie plays like a movie. It will come across to you as it's every bit the story, emotion, twist, cliffhanger that we have in any of our other films, because we found these 5 stories that are movie worthy. They are incredible, and they will encourage you. And I promise you this, you will look at God the Father differently in your life than you did before you saw this film.
Wow. Show Me the Father, the movie.com. Keep an eye on that so you can see where it's going to be and to find out more information on that. Now, also coming out a little bit later this fall is a kind of a remake of Courageous, the movie Courageous, which you probably saw, 10 years ago now? Has it been that long?
It has been 10 years, and we began thinking about the fact that Courageous, the resolution, the truths presented in the movie are just as applicable today as they were a decade ago. And there is a new generation of fathers that did not have children 10 years ago. So we talked about, should we re-release it? Well, we determined that if we were going to re-release it, we could show where the characters and their families in the movie are 10 years later. So we shot some new scenes, and then we have a new ending to the movie with some surprise twists where you see where the characters ended up, as well as going back and re-editing the original movie so it flows a little bit faster. So I think when Courageous, we're calling it Courageous Legacy. When Courageous Legacy comes out on October the 15th, and again, you can go to courageousthemovie.com to see more information about Courageous Legacy. And when it comes out October 15th, we think people are going to be surprised. The movie will feel familiar while still being very fresh.
We're talking with Alex Kendrick, and a couple of movies coming out, a documentary, Show Me the Father and Courageous. It's actually called Courageous Legacy. We had a chance to talk to Alex right before we went live. And if you saw the first one 10 years ago, you're going to be amazed at this next one. Because it's 10 years later. Alex, when you guys decided to do this re-release, you sat down at the table and brainstormed. How did that go for you? Did it go easy? Did you have to stretch any, or do you think that 10 years on both of you or all of you made it easier to put this together?
It's interesting getting the cast back together 10 years later and talking about the same characters and where they would be. We wanted to encourage the audience, but we didn't want to paint a picture that was unrealistic. And so we find out that there's still some hurdles and speed bumps that they have to face in life. But at the same time, there's a lot of encouragement, a lot of hope, and we want to leave the audience with a lot of hope. So revisiting characters was fun, to play the same character a decade later, and it wasn't really that hard. All the guys that are in the original one came back for this version, and it was a great time of fellowship and reminiscing, and they did a fantastic job. And again, I think you're going to be surprised at something we do at the end of the film.
Now, do you when you're looking at it and you're redoing it, do you look at it and go, wow, I looked a lot younger then? Because that's exactly what I would be. I had more hair. Look, I was thinner.
When I look at footage of me 10 years ago, it's no fun because you realize how the years go by. But at the same time, we didn't want to look exactly the same. We didn't want to look like we had shot it at the same time. So, I call it seasoning. We are getting a little bit older, but that seasoning also gives you more experience, more life wisdom, more memories. So I'm going to embrace the stage of life that I'm in.
That's right. I have more salt than pepper on the seasoning, so that's the problem I have.
Alex Kendrick, we're talking about first documentary, Show Me the Father, which is coming up September the 10th, and then in October it's Courageous Legacy. Dan and I just want to say, Alex, that you guys very brave when you first started. This was new waters. I mean, it was unheard of, really, with you guys starting this out so many years ago. And, you've grown, and look at the movies and look at the impact on people's lives. No doubt, people maybe coming up to you on the street or in the grocery store, emailing you, texting you, whatever, how their lives have been impacted. It's probably a little humbling, isn't it? A little overwhelming, I would think.
It is. I'm still amazed at the countries that will send us emails from all over the world that say, we saw your movie on an airplane. We got an email from a missionary in Turkey, which is a Muslim nation. And he said he was on a Turkish airline, and the movie was, I think it was War Room. And he said he's looking around thinking, I can't believe that they're showing War Room on a Muslim airline in Turkey. Do they even know what they're showing? But he said it was amazing. And so the Lord is allowing these stories to go in places that would be hard for you and I to go. And I'm very grateful for that. I'm grateful for whatever fruit he gives us. And God does the heavy lifting. We can tell a story, but God's the one that touches the heart and changes lives. And so I'm just grateful to be a part of the process.
That's awesome. Alex Kendrick, the Kendrick brothers, Stephen Kendrick, check out the first documentary, Show Me the Father. Dan's got the place to go to, showmethefathermovie.com. And then Courageous Legacy, and that is courageousthemovie.com. Alex, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you, and bless you.
Great to talk to you guys. Hope you have an amazing day. God bless.
Appreciate it, man.
Hey, we got to take a break. We'll be right back. I'm Rick Probst.
And I'm Dan Ratcliffe.
This is Faith Talk Live.